Did Tom Cruise really climb the tallest building? Did Jeremy Renner almost replace Tom Cruise? And how did a South Park episode nearly derail a film franchise? Welcome to CineSqueeze, and today we're covering 10 thrilling facts about Mission Impossible. Number 10. Simon Pegg's surprise. Simon Pegg joined the central cast in 2006's Mission Impossible 3 as the technician Benji. However, it wasn't a role he was counting on. Pegg rose to fame in 2004 after starring in the British zombie comedy Shaun of the Dead. He was asked what his plans would be for his next film. Pegg wasn't predicting anything big. He merely laughed and replied, "It's not like I'm going to be in Mission Impossible 3. Well, he was wrong, and it's a good thing he was wrong. Pegg has reprised the role in every Mission Impossible film since, including the upcoming Dead Reckoning. Number 9. Renner in the wings. Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol introduced William Brandt, an agent played by Jeremy Renner, but Renner almost had a different role in the film, specifically the lead. There were apparently reports that Renner was being considered to replace Cruise in future Mission Impossible films, starting with Ghost Protocol. But that all changed given Cruise's devotion to stunt work. Renner wouldn't replace Cruise, but he would return for the role of Brandt in the 5th film, Rogue Nation. He didn't return for Mission Impossible Fallout, considering he already had a big role playing Hawkeye in the Avengers movies. Number 8. Too Big, Too Long. Mission Impossible 2 had a style all its own for being directed by John Woo. Having been a legendary Hong Kong action director, Woo made the series far more explosive and intense. He also made it too long. The first cut of Woo's film came in at 3.5 hours long. That was way too long for the likes of Paramount Pictures. They demanded he trim the film, and it was eventually edited down to a little over 2 hours. The shortened length, however, led to some major plot holes in the story. Number 7. Hitting the ground with no running. The first iconic stunt of the Mission Impossible movies was Tom Cruise descending from a ceiling. In the first film, he had to carefully hover above the ground, but nearly crashes into the floor. If you're wondering how Cruise pulled this off, there were 2 reasons. The first reason was practice. Yes, Cruise actually hit the floor many times before this stunt was pulled off correctly. But the second reason had to do with his shoes. For better balance, Cruise puts coins inside his shoes to maintain his mid-air hovering without toppling to the ground. The combination of both pulled off the first big nail-biter moment of the franchise. Number 6. The South Park Feud. Mission Impossible 3 was nearly cancelled by Tom Cruise a year before it would debut. The instigator of this problem was the animated series South Park. The 2005 episode, Trapped in the Closet, directly mocked Tom Cruise. Specifically, the episode mocked his religion of Scientology and implied he was a homosexual. South Park airs on Comedy Central, which is owned by Viacom. Viacom also owns Paramount Pictures, the studio that produces Mission Impossible. Cruise called the right people, and the episode was removed from future reruns. He threatened to pull the plug on Mission Impossible 3 if Comedy Central did not comply. So, one South Park episode nearly derailed the franchise. Number 5. Worried Woo. For Mission Impossible 2, the most daring stunt was Tom Cruise scaling Dead Horse Point in Utah. While the films would later become known for Cruise becoming more daring with his stunts, this one had a lot of safety. There were 2 stunt doubles used for different aspects of the stunt. Yes, Cruise was still there, but he was kept safe with wires that were digitally removed later. That said, director John Woo was still fearful about this major movie star wanting to perform this climb multiple times, but as Woo described shooting, Cruise was more than willing to perform in the sequence. Number 4. The Tallest Tower. Much like the second entry, the 4th Mission Impossible movie, Ghost Protocol, features Cruise climbing again. This time, however, he's not climbing a mountain, but the Burj Khalifa Tower. This is one of the tallest towers in the world, clocking in at 2,722 feet. Cruise's character of Ethan Hunt scaled the tower at 1,700 feet. There was no stunt double this time. This is all Cruise, and he owns this dangerous scene entirely. Such a stunt would set the tone for how Cruise would go further with subsequent sequels. Number 3. Taking flight on a wing. Mission Impossible Rogue Nation features Tom Cruise hanging onto the wing of a plane as it takes off. With special effects and stunt doubles, this scene might not have been that impressive. But much like Ghost Protocol, Cruise performs the stunt without any of that help. The aircraft lifted him 5,000 feet into the air. The camera holds on him as he holds onto the wing for dear life. There were many concerns about this stunt by the staff, including director Christopher McQuarrie. The stunt required a camera that would be firmly mounted to the plane and capture all the footage. It also meant that Cruise would have to keep his eyes open for the entire scene. This led to him wearing a special lens to handle the wind hitting his face. The eye-popping results speak for themselves. Number 2. Extra training for falling. One of the most impressive stunts in Mission Impossible Fallout is the skydiving sequence. In this scene, Ethan Hunt and August Walker descend through the clouds to a target. They jump at a high altitude directly into a storm. This results in Ethan having to save August while in freefall. Tom Cruise spent a whole year training for this stunt. It's not easy considering that stuntman Alan Hubert stated accelerated freefall takes 1,000 attempts for instructors to get it right. With a 70% failure rate, this would not be an easy stunt, and Cruise only had 100 tries to perfect it. That's just another feat for Tom Cruise in an action series where we'd expect nothing less. Number 1. IMAX Stuntman. The only thing more impressive than watching Cruise perform the freefall sequence in Mission Impossible Fallout is how it was filmed in IMAX. Filming in IMAX is hard, let alone while you're in freefall. To film this scene, stuntman Craig O'Brien had to wield a red weapon camera with an IMAX lens strapped to his helmet. This is the first time ever filming something like this with a camera like that. O'Brien had to focus his 20-pound camera on his head without the aid of a view. Fortunately, the camera was equipped with a special device for autofocusing on the action. A Tom Cruise stunt this good requires a cameraman just as compatible, making this scene look all the more impressive in IMAX. So, what'd you think of our list? Did you learn anything new? Was there any trivia we missed? Should we've talked more about that bathroom fight in Fallout? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to like and subscribe for more movie lists. Thanks for watching.